Welcome to Brian's Bike Reviews. I'm Brian, and today we have a special project that we're working on. It's a sub 15-pound bike that costs under $1,000. I wanted to see if it was possible to make a build and kind of source everything out. It's not a new bike, but it is a used bike, and the whole goal is to get it at 15 pounds or under. And there is one catch. It's going to be built with a new Grupo, so mechanically speaking, the bike will be, in essence, brand new. So we're going to go over some parts that I've selected for the build, and it's coming in, it's going to be a little over 1,000, but it's going to be really close to it, and I think it's going to be a pretty solid build. So first things first, I feel we should probably start off with the key component to any bike build, and that is the frame. This is the frame. The frame was $450 on eBay. And as you can see, it's a Diamondback Podium, the same bike as the Podium 7, which sells for around $8,000. This frame in particular was used by a Kelly pro team, more of a development team out on the East Coast around Pennsylvania, Washington area. The great part about this frame and why I selected it was that it's a really light frame. The frame's going to weigh under 900 grams. It's also going to have a really light fork. Most importantly, if you notice right here, it's going to be a little hard to see in this video, but you're going to have a carbon fiber steer tube, and those are the kind of the components that you look for when you're trying to buy a bike frame, when you want to build up a bike that's very light. Now, as you can see on the table in front of me, we also have a 105 group set. This is a compact group set. Why did we go with 105? Well, because I got the entire group set for around $320 on Merlin Cycles. This happened to be a closeout group set. I don't know if you can continually get it, but for $320 it was a no-brainer. So our bike's going to be built up with 105. Now 105, the downside is that you're going to have a weight penalty. It's not nearly as light as some of the SRAM Red stuff. And it's not even as light as Ultegra, but we're going to make do, and we're going to make a couple substitutions. One of the biggest substitutions from this group set that we're going to make is that we're not going to use the original brakes that came with the group set because they're pretty heavy. Instead, we're going to swap them with some SRAM force brakes. The great thing about the force brakes is that they are inexpensive on eBay, and they're relatively light, and about 150 grams lighter than the current Ultegra. Than the current 105, the 105 5800 group set that we're going to be building it up with. So these, it's a no-brainer. Switch them out. The next thing that we're going to be altering from the original group set is that when you buy a 105 group kit, you know, you're going to come with it's going to come with a bottom bracket. However, it's not press fit. So in our build kit, we're going to swap it for a SRAM bottom bracket, which in the open market goes for about the same. So we're going to kind of call it a wash on that. So one thing that we are going to have to buy is going to be a set of adapters. I believe these adapters are $15 on Amazon. Again, free shipping. Another element of the group set you're going to see is the chain. This is included for that $328, or 28, maybe it was 320. It's with around 320 bucks. We've got some carbon fiber levers. These are 105, these are 11 speed. The bike will be built up with 11 speed, which is great. The crank arms are 172.5s standard, and the other nice part about buying a Grupo is that it also comes with cables, so that's another thing that we're not going to have to shell out for. So, moving on, we have our stem. This is a Ritchie 4-axis stem. It's not carbon, but it's not too much of a heifer. We ended up picking this up at a local bike shop for, I believe it was $16 because it was a takeoff stem. And we're going to pair this stem with some Zip carbon fiber handlebars. And I know what you guys are thinking. How did you get carbon fiber handlebars for a bike build that's supposedly underneath $1,000? And the answer is that these were takeoffs, just like the stem. And the local bike shop kind of liked our idea of what we were doing and threw them in a box for us for $40. So we got $40 carbon fiber handlebars. The last thing we have is a seat post kind of on this table. And we got a Bontrager XXX seat post, and we picked this up for $30 on Craigslist. Heck of a seat post for 30 bucks. It's not all that light, but it's gonna do just fine, I think, for this build. And the only thing that's not on the table that I haven't addressed is the seat. And the reason why we're not gonna take that into consideration just yet is that everyone rides a different seat, and a seat can vary between, you know, it can be 100 grams, it could even be 200 grams if you're on wilderness trail bike saddles. So with that in mind, we're going to build it up. We're going to see kind of where the weight is at, and then we're going to address the seat. And the last piece that is behind me is the wheel set, and we have a set of tires for these guys that we actually bought them with, and we got our wheel set for $160. So these are the Mavic Cerium SLs. These are the 2008 model, so they're a little older. They do show a little some signs of wear, but there's no cracks in the rim, which is good. And most importantly, they're going to work, and they're relatively light. Why we went with these is because it's a sub 1,500 gram wheel set, and that's one of the things that you're going to be looking for. Again, these were used, so that's part of the deal with building this bike. And just to prove, it's a proof of concept that you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a very, very good bike that is competitive. AKA, you don't need the carbon rims behind me, you don't need a lot of those things. You just need to have a budget in mind, and you need to know what to buy and where to source it from. So again, most of the things on this table, they were either purchased on eBay or through a local bike shop used. And anything that wasn't done in that kind of, in this parameters, it was purchased on Amazon. And I love to support your local bike shop, but sometimes you can find things cheaper online, like we did with the Merlin 105 group set from Merlin Cycles. Now, we had to wait for this to get shipped from the UK, so that's one thing to consider with this bike build. But all in all, I think we're 2 weeks into the project, and we have every single part that we need, except for the seat, as I addressed previously. So this is, again, the sub $1,000 bike build. It's going to end up probably being a little bit over, but for your buck, you can get probably close to a 15-pound bike that you can use as a daily rider as well. That is of tour quality. That is definitely not a bike that's going to slow you down. It's a bike that's going to give you everything you need, and then probably a lot more that you'll never use for a relatively low budget. And the whole point of this video is to encourage people to build their own bikes. And if you want some help building your own bike, or you need some advice, or hey, what should I buy? Is this worth it? Is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal? Please send me a message. Again, my name is Brian, and you can either message me on the YouTube channel right here, or you can just shoot me an email on my website. Links will be below, and whatever works for you. But again, you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a great bike.